Hello, I'm Todd Clemens, Okeechobee Livestock Market, and here is your weekly market report. We're still talking about the weather here in South Florida. I guess we're talking about it all over the whole country. This heat wave is killing us. It's ridiculously hot. It just seems like it's abnormally hot. And these cattle moving right now during this heat is a real problem. And I would advise everybody, if you're bringing cattle in next Monday and Tuesday, please get up before the sun does and get your cattle to the pens and get them loaded and get them in here before it gets too hot. That'd be great. And I know that that doesn't work for everybody because some people have jobs and other things to do first or whatever, but just keep in mind and take into consideration the heat on your cattle. This is going to be a tough day for them because it's the day they're leaving their mama, they're leaving their comfort area, and they're coming to a place that's just totally alien to them. They're going to get mixed with other cattle. They're going to be stressed. They're going to stand in pens. They're going to get loaded on a truck. They may travel for 24 hours to their final destination. Just put yourself in their place and try to be considerate about that. That'd be awesome because stress on animals causes a lot of problems, death being the worst, and that is occurring in some places and some parts. So just be aware of that. This market is crazy right now. It's dog days. It's kind of the summer doldrums again. It's weather, the war with Russia and Ukraine, Russia bombing Ukraine's wheat fields or processing plants or whatever it was that caused grain prices to go up. And then I looked yesterday and corn was back down $5 or more. So it's one day one thing and the next day something else. And it's hard for these guys buying these cattle to figure that all out, And so these calves are being bought today and they're not going to be finished for probably 6 or 8 months down the road, and you got to figure out what these market prices are going to be. But all in all, calf prices are still good. If a calf weighing 500 pounds is off $5, well, $5 on 500 pounds is $25 a head. But if you're dealing with a price that's above $2 to start with, you're talking about a smaller percentage. It's not like it was when calves were bringing $500 or $600. You take $5 off of that, and that's a big percentage of the price. So they're at a high enough level now, even if the market is off a little bit, it's still good money. But the forecast or the future is for these prices to continue to be high because supply is not going to get any higher. It's just going to get tighter and lower for the rest of this year and 2024. And some charts have said 2025 will be the peak or the bottom of the inventory before cattle inventory even starts to rise. First indicators are heifer retention will go up, and there will be reports, and we'll find out how many heifers are being retained. And you can do that because the kill data at the end of the week, the animals that are processed weekly, those numbers are kept on steers and heifers, and so you can tell how many heifers are staying at the ranch as opposed to being processed for meat. So those are indicators, and those reports will be coming out. But cattle prices were good this week in spite of having a lot of cattle. Volume now is good all across the state, and there's more cattle for these buyers to pick from, and they're surely going to pick the best quality calves or the first ones they're looking for, and they're the ones they're after the most. But those good prices on those good quality calves bring all the other ranges of cattle, the plainer cattle, the number 1.5s, the number 2s, all those cattle climb up with the high prices on the best quality calves. So the market is good. We were off a little bit last week in prices, and it's just an up and down thing. We put it back on this week, so we're kind of back where we started. But these 5-weight calves, you're seeing these things bring like 250 or better across the ring, and that's a good price. The 6-weight calves this week, and there were a lot of good cattle that came through the ring weighing 6 or better, and they were bringing up in the 230s, which is really good money. And heifers seem to be bringing that spread between steers and heifers up a little bit. It was about 20 cents, and I think now it's probably more like 15. Cow prices, slaughter prices were good this week. They were off a little bit, I think, last week, but I think numbers were down a little bit. We did not have a lot of dairy animals, and that heat might have had something to do with that. But a lot of beef cows came to town. A lot of people are preg checking, and they're selling those open cows, and so that's going on. And the cows were probably maybe $3 to $5 higher. A lot of cows in the 90s, a lot of cows over $1, and bulls were up really high too. Bulls are up to 115 or 20, maybe even better than that. So we're excited to see things running and going, and cattle are moving, and even with the heat. But we're also getting a little bit of clouds and rain in the afternoon, which is cooling it off. I think yesterday was pretty nice in the afternoon, and we're glad to see the clouds and a little bit of rain here and there to cool things off while we're trying to move cattle. We're going to a conference. Audra and I are going to a conference in Kansas City. I'll tell you more about that, and just thought we'd pass on the news that we've been invited to go to a conference about looking at the integration of the cattle industry, how things are becoming more integrated, and this vertical integration is not good for competition, and we're always looking for ways to increase competition. And there's some discussion going on this week about how that may happen. Some people are thinking about some ideas that I don't know enough about right yet to say, but there are people working at trying to help keep this competition good like it is now. The big four, we talk about it all the time, and you guys know 80% of all the cattle are processed by these 4 big packers. And if we can bust that up a little bit and take 10% or 15% of that away and create a fifth, if you will, or just more little operations to take cattle and scatter them out, then we've increased competition, and these guys got to kind of fight for them a little bit more than what they do. Because the situation we're in now is with these guys, these 4 guys handling so many of the cattle, what they're doing is manipulating their chain speed, how many animals they process in an hour, how many animals they process for the day or the week. Sometimes they run on Saturdays. Now they're not running on Saturdays. They've slowed down their process simply so they can hold prices up at the retail level. And when that happens, it's business, and they're trying to make a dollar just like everybody, but they're going to use everything in their power to keep prices suppressed that they have to give for cattle coming out of the feedlot. And it's going to get to the point here where the numbers are so tight, and inventory is so tight, that they're not going to be able to do that unless they reduce the amount of animals they process. But they can control that to a certain degree. They still have to move meat. They have to keep the prices at a high level. The boxed beef prices, the retail prices have to be at a high enough level, but not too high where consumers are still using it and buying it, and the product's still moving. So anyway, there's going to be some discussion about how we can improve that. And those things also will have to do with food security, homeland security. So it's a pretty big deal. We're excited to go to Kansas City and find out more about that. And hopefully we'll come back with some good news and be able to tell you guys what's going on. Well, that about does it for this week, but I want to tell you about some high prices we had. And these guys are old family friends and customers that go back for generations. And sometimes there'll be people that top the market that I don't even know. But these guys, I know both of them. Ridgedale and Sons from Clewiston, Marsh Ridgedale, a longtime family friend of my grandpa and my dad from Clewiston, Morris Ridgedale and Sons topped the cow market with a 1,410-pound cow that brought $1.12, and she was bought by Florida Beef. And on the calf side, the high calf was sold by George Roden. And we go way, way back. And his dad was Luther Roden. He brought cattle in here every week for 50 years ago. I've just known him my whole life. And it's good to see these old names on this market report. Good for you guys. You get a free lunch, and good for you for topping the calf market, George. You had a 195-pound calf that brought $4 a pound. And we can do math when we know what that is. Good for you. And that calf was bought by Enterprise, and that's your market report. Thank you. If you like these market reports, please subscribe to our channel on YouTube. Pass it on, share it to your friends and neighbors, and we'll keep it coming to you. We appreciate you. Thank you for your business.